Hey up, everyone. Welcome to the Hermit's Cave. It's great to see everybody here. I'm just going to pop open the chat so I can see everyone in the chat. And there's already, Ross, lots of people in there that are chatting away, and which is always lovely to see. So, as you can see, this week I've got a guest that we was just saying, weren't we, before I hit the live button, that we've probably been in communication for 2018, 7 years. And this is your first time on the channel. So welcome.
Hello, Simon. Hello, everyone. Nice to be here. Thank you.
No, and I was thrilled when you reached out and said, "Shall we do something together?" Because yeah, over the years, it's something that I've seen you appear on other channels, and always fascinating to hear you speak. But it's quite exciting at the moment as well because you've got a live Kickstarter campaign, haven't you?
Yes. Hi, everyone. I think some people we already, well, not met really, but we had the chance already to chat and maybe to be in some lives together in the years. And I'm very happy to be live again with the tarot community. And yes, right now, as Simon said, there is a new crowdfunding campaign going on Kickstarter this time to release the third edition of my new Choice De Marseilles. And I thought it was, yeah, exactly. You've got the first edition. Here I have my second edition deck.
Oh, okay. And
Yeah,
we will talk about the differences between the editions as well.
yes, here we are. So, yeah,
Brilliant.
happy to start this. Like, I will let you lead me
Yes,
in the
yeah, no
process.
worries. I've planned out some questions that I want to talk to you about because we will talk about your decks and the Kickstarter campaign, but always I like to just get to know a little bit about you as a person as well, and a little bit about your history. And yeah, it's Chris from Elemental Cartomancy who's in the chat. I'd seen you on his channel.
Yes, hi,
Um,
Chris.
so it's nice to see him here. And what I will say to everybody who's coming in, there's lots of people coming into the room. Um, if if you want to ask any questions to Ross, then feel free. If we could leave that towards the end, so I will give a little bit of a notification when there's going to be some time. If you're okay for time, Ross, then we will
Yeah,
we'll
I'm
let
here.
people ask some questions
Like,
as well.
I was booked for tonight, so I'm available as long as we want.
Oh, good. Well, we can just relax, have a cuppa, and take our time, and just get to know a little bit about you. So, for new viewers, because I'm always mindful that people are finding tarot constantly. You know, I get messages from people who are saying, "I'm new to tarot, just found your channel." As well as having lots of lovely people in the chat who's been with the channel since it started 8 years ago. But particularly for those who are new to the community, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself? Perhaps where you grew up, where you are now, um, and perhaps even how you discovered the tarot in the first place.
Yes, sure. So I'll start, yeah, in a chronological way. My name is Rosario Salerno. I'm Italian, so I was born in a city in Sicily, in the south of Italy, in Vittoria, in the province of Ragusa. And since when I discovered the world of tarot, I guess the story started when I was a teenager, and I think it was my sister's. Like, she's got this tarot deck as a gift from some friends, and I saw it. I think it was around 14, and I saw these cards, and I was really attracted by it, because I was always very curious as a child and also as a teenager. So I read a little book that was with this. I think I still remember which tarot deck is. It was like it was a classic deck, like a Tarot de Marseille.
Mm.
I think it was from Madeni,
Okay, the Madonna.
so very classic.
Yeah.
And of course, the figures are not like from the eyes of a teenager, were not like so beautiful, but they were attractive in a way. Like they, those faces have some sort of magnetism that
Mm.
scary, I would say, like a bit creepy, as a,
Particularly the eyes.
yeah, like, because
Yeah.
it's old, middle age drawings, not very proportioned, but still they were kind of talking to me. And the names, of course, it's names, it's archetypes, so it probably unlocks something in you, even if you're very young. And reading the little book, I realized how difficult it would be to be able to read them all because of the combinations, and if you read it upside down, or uh, all these things, until one day this tarot deck disappeared, and I asked my sister why, and she told me she got rid of it because in that period, she was talking to some friend who was like a Jehovah Witness.
Right.
And also, well, beside that, there was also my priest, my like confessor father. I talked to him about the tarot deck, and he told me, the typical sentence. I say that it's like an object from the devil, and I should not use it because it's something evil. So I was actually very sorry about, because from my perspective, it was not such a dangerous thing. But yeah, that was the beginning and also the end. Like I was stopped by learning this until many years later, and I think it was 2013. I was living here in Berlin, um, and yeah, I was in this gallery. I was showing my sculptures into this gallery in Schöneberg called the Ballery. And of course, every Saturday there will be a lot of artists and the friends of the artists, and also some people who were working like for some blogs. So there was this journalist called Krista Krull, and she saw my sculptures. We started to chat, and then she saw my arms tattoos, which are like all my drawings. So she noticed that, and she said that drawing looks really much like my one of my cards from my favorite deck, the Morgan Greer deck. So she would told me she has been reading that deck for like over 25 years. So she saw this tattoo and she thought it was exactly like the Queen of Swords. And this, how do you say, like, it really hit me because I thought tarot cards, and I immediately thought about my first deck that was lost, and I forgot completely about this. And then I thought, it's a, tarot card is a very good opportunity to make a lot of drawings. Like if you need a theme as an artist, it's very inspiring. So I thought, I'm gonna do that. Let's see how it looks if I make a deck with my own style.
Yeah.
And so I started like a game, I started to draw some cards until I documented myself better. Of course, first I looked at something on the internet, and then my one of my best friends, Silvia, who lives also here in Berlin, she also is a tarot reader. And she gave me the Alejandro Jodorowsky's book. She was like, "Hey, Ross, if you have to make um, if you have to start to make a tarot deck, I think you should start from this, because for her it was like the Bible."
Yeah.
So I thought, yes, you're right. Maybe it's time to, to study deeply about, because I don't want to make some, mistakes and to fall into cliches. And then I started over, after I made maybe 3 or 4 cards, I started to make them seriously. And then who knew that I would have made the entire deck.
Yeah. And the tattoo then, because I'm thinking of the Queen of Swords. She's got black hair, hasn't she? That particular queen in
Yeah,
the deck,
black
kind of
or
tied back.
maybe brown. Brown
Yeah,
for sure.
slightly dark and kind of like. Did you agree? Did you then go and find the Morgan Greer and dig it
Yes, of
out? And
course. Like once she told me, I was very curious to see it, and it does. I mean, I can show you the tattoo if you want. It's here in my arm, so I'm sure like people are thinking now. Let's see how she looks.
yeah, I
And
was going to see if I could put my hand on the
yeah, I
Morgan.
shared this also in the during the crowdfunding. I shared this information in one of my videos because I thought it was, curious to tell the story. So I don't know if you can see it properly. Now it's
Oh yeah,
older. It's older than then. It's a little bit. Uh,
I was grabbing my Morgan Greer to see if I
yeah,
could quickly put my hands on the Queen of Swords, because that was really interesting how that connection took you when somebody mentioned your tattoo.
yeah,
Um, Here it is.
yeah, exactly. I mean, they don't look exactly the same, but there is something that reminds her.
Facially,
Maybe also the
yeah,
flowers
especially the
above
nose and
the
mouth.
maybe the flowers are more similar to this. You see, it's rose. This is
Yeah,
roses. Mine are poppies. But yeah, this was she saw me like this, and she immediately thought about the tarot deck, and that was the beginning. Who said that from a simple discussion,
those
um,
connections.
yeah, and
Yeah,
you get inspiration for a lifetime. Art piece.
absolutely. And going back to your sister's deck, you said that there was an image there that just clicked, and that kind of pulled you in. Can you remember what that image was in your sister's
I
deck there?
No, not really one. I think the entire deck itself, the style, the tarot thing was like, this is interesting because those faces, or maybe if I can choose one of the faces of the tarot deck that more impressed me in general, in the classic Tarot de Marseille, I would say it's the Justice face. Maybe
Mm,
because it's the only one that looks, straight in
yeah,
your eyes, and when you look at it, it's kind of, uh, like it's a bit like when you look at the Mona Lisa, you know, this face that looks at you in the eyes,
no
but
matter where you are in the room.
yeah, and it's Justice with a big sword on her hand, so you feel like that she can decide what to do with you. That's a bit the feeling
Yeah,
it gives you. It's kind of scary, but and I mean, and it represents all the things that judge us all. For example, police, all these things. So I think it can be a card that, how do you say? Sorry, English is not my first language, so I
no,
would say
you're
in
fine.
Italian,
You did brilliant.
inquietante. Inquietante is something that shakes you a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, brilliant. So from those early influences then of your first introduction to tarot through your sister's deck, the connection with the lady that became your friend at the art gallery, and the connection with the tattoo, what what did you either take from those early references to put into your new deck, or what did you feel might have been missing or lacking in some way for you to create a deck in your own style?
Uh, I don't know. I'll try to answer this question. It's a difficult question. I'm just taking the tarot deck so we can also see what we're speaking about. I don't know if the light
Yeah,
allows
do the
us.
same as well.
So, sorry, the question is what was missing? Can you tell me again?
Well, kind of two-part really. What influences did you take in particular from those early connections with tarot, or what did you feel was lacking and therefore you wanted to bring
Okay.
into your tarot?
Okay, the question is like, why did you need to remake them to start this. Yeah, I would say first of all, as an artist, and I start my to be an artist making comics. Uh, so I guess when you start to make comics, you develop your own style. You want to make these figures, um, and you give them an identity that it's a bit like also it's probably also you, like as an artist, you always put something of yourself. It's we could say that our drawings are a bit our children, and because it's our creation, and we when we make them, even if we are not portraying ourselves, there is going to be anyway something that belongs to us because it's the result of our research and our aesthetic, um, the things that we favor as aesthetics. So I would say that when I started to make the new choice, I wanted it to be faithful to the tradition of Marseille because, studying the book of Jodorowsky, and I understood that I couldn't go too far from the classic deck because otherwise I would have lost a lot of the symbology because there are some keys, symbolism that if you don't put them there, then you are putting too much of your ego. And when you put too much of your ego, um, then you're not speaking like the tarot deck is not anymore that instrument archetypical that is common to everyone who knows it. So maybe I could call it the tradition, like the tradition in the Marseille decks is important because it's like that common key for reading them. So not only the iconography, so the objects that are in each card, but also how is important is on the Tarot de Marseille reading the direction of the cards, where they are looking, if they are turning their face left or right. So it's all stuff that you need in order to codify, we could say, the meanings. So I didn't want to change all that, but I preferred to change it in an aesthetic way. And also, yeah, maybe, as I told you, the first thing that I thought when I saw the Madeni deck, they were a bit scary. They're a bit creepy. So I wanted to take off all this negativity, let's say. Not that it's bad. I think negative is as important as positive in general, as a philosophy of life. Like we need also negative stuff in order to appreciate the positive. Like it's a balance. It's part of everything, part of life. There is light and there is dark, and if there was not, there wouldn't be shading. There wouldn't be. If it was all light, we couldn't see the stuff,
Yeah.
or in the dark, the same. So what I'm trying to say is like I wanted to set those figures free from their ancient style, which can be also maybe something far from our society. We grew up also aesthetically, and so even if it's beautiful art pieces from their time, I thought me as a contemporary artist because I live in contemporary world, so I am contemporary. uh, Even if I quote ancient, it's gonna be a, a contemporary version anyway. So you have to put something of your um, how do you say, like you're a testimony of your time. So it would be a bit useless for me, from my point of view, to remake a deck exactly the same like the old one. So what you have to bring new must be something that belongs also from to you, to your life, from your point of view. And so this deck, as you know, it was Berlin inspired because in that time that I started to design it, I was living here for like 3 years. Yeah, because I moved here in 2009, and that was a 2013, 14. So I was right in my Berlin time, in love with the city. I'm still in love with the city. That's why I moved back. And I had to dress them up a little bit like the people that I like to see around the city. So of course there is a lot of the queer community, as you know,
Hmm.
but I would call it also the art community, because it's not only queer people what I portrayed. It's all kind of artists and yeah, people from the LGBT community anyway. But also there are also straight people, like it's all we are all the same in this
Yeah.
city, and that's why I wanted to be a Berlin inspired deck, and it's always remarked
Yeah.
because it's lifestyle. Also, the fetish elements, that they're wearing, some of them have harnesses. It's something that belongs to the club culture in here, and for me, it's something that I see every now and then. If I go to an art exhibition, there will be people dressed up with their favorite fetish gears and looks, male, female, non-binary, trans, like any kind of human being.
Yeah.
And this is what I love of this city.
Yeah, brilliant. And I'd actually written down here, and I was going to touch on it because I put your deck is a faithful Marseille with a bold contemporary queer fashion club scene accent, and that really comes through. And it is it's such a beautiful, beautiful deck. The colours that you use, I mean, I think as much as appreciating the art, which we do, it's kind of the essential element for me, but also the whole tactile experience. Your deck just feels, and it was one of the first decks, like I say, back in 2018, that just had that real sense of luxury to it. With the card stock, the colours. The ace of coins is probably still the most beautiful ace of coins I've ever seen in any deck. It's just beautiful. I wanted to touch on the pip cards as well because
Yeah,
you've layered in botanical symbolism.
yeah.
Um, and I know historically there's decks with filigrees and flowers, but it's got quite a strong focus within the pips. So how do you see readers incorporate incorporating the botanical element of that when reading pips?
You mean in my deck or in other situations?
In yours in
Ah,
particular.
okay, because exactly, I don't know any
Yeah.
other,
Yeah.
well, I'm sure there are probably decks, flower
The flower. Yeah.
focused, I'm sure. But the idea just came out when I started to draw the pips, and I thought, okay, I did it with the court cards and the major arcana. Like I was able to make them unique, as I just told you, because of the style that they're dressed up. So it's a mix of the classic elements of the Tarot de Marseille plus these contemporary Berlin um, features, so that we can say. And then I wondered, like, how can I make also the pips special? Because it's a Marseille deck. I can't make so much change. Like it didn't give me the freedom that it would give a Rider Waite
Mm.
Smith. So I thought I have to add something. So I looked at the flowers, the decorations, the classic ones that are like Baroque elements, and I thought, yeah, I love that, but I have to make it more modern. And I thought that something called the modern style is the Art Nouveau style, which is something, from the beginning of the last century. And our cities, all the cities of the world are full of Art Nouveau elements in the architecture. Um, and I thought maybe I can make them like that. So instead of Baroque, and all kind of the same, even though we know as experts of tarot that also those elements in a tarot, classic Tarot de Marseille, are very important. The leaves, the colors, the which flower. So I thought, okay, I will develop also this. I will make it special and also easier for someone who is a beginner, for example, because for the expert, it's very easy to recognize. I don't know, this card from this is sorry, this is like a 4 of Pentacles, and if we see the 5 of Pentacles, we immediately see the difference. But someone who is not expert will not see so much difference until they really study. So I thought, okay, let's add the element of the flowers, and let's put a different species of flowers for each card. So even if you are not familiar with tarot, you are going to recognize them because, yeah, that's a daffodil. Everybody knows that that's a daffodil. This is a tiger lily. Like, even if you don't know about it, now you learn about, and they have specific meanings, classic meanings from the language of flowers code, which is something decadent, was something from the 18th, no, the 19th century, classic. And so I thought, I want to give this deck also this sort of signature. Like, let's make each card unique and beautiful, and also, um, yeah, because each flower has a meaning, I thought, okay, let's see which flower matches more the meanings of each card. And so I started this also investigation, in order to make them all unique and easy to read, or easier to read, because it's not easy. Yeah, for example, that is the poppy, and the poppy, everybody knows that from the poppy you get um, uh, the the intoxication, from the
Yeah.
drugs that
Yeah.
you can make from poppies, or this is the baby's breath. So I thought, okay, let's give the meaning of the flower also to the card, and people can recognize them better. So it
Brilliant.
might be something not very connected to the Berlin thing, but it's still something modern that adds a plus to the deck in order to be chosen, this deck instead of another deck.
Yeah. And just going back to the Berlin club scene, and particularly the fashion and the fetish influence throughout the deck. And you said that obviously it was important to represent that because it reflected your world around you. What cards would you say best embody that? And how do you keep them? What's the word? Kind of, how do you keep them respectful to the? Because you touched upon it. I think you said it was very important that I didn't deviate too much away from the traditional Marseille. So, did you want to just show a few cards that you think best represent that, and how you still wanted to keep it respectful to the traditional TDM?
Yeah, like when you said that, the first card that crossed my mind was La Maison Dieu,
Yeah,
so the tower.
let me put you on big for a second. Let's. There we go.
Yeah, so you can see it better for the ones who don't know it.
Mhm.
So this is clearly not the classical tower, but it's a specific building here in Berlin, which is kind of an institution in Berlin. um, it's a club called the Berghain, and this club is one of the points of reference of Berliners who live through the nightlife, of course, because maybe there are, but yeah, it's known from everybody. It's like so famous now. We can find it also in the guidebooks, and it's actually beautiful building. It's an ex power plant, so the energy in there is really intense.
Yeah,
And not just because it's a techno club, but because you can feel the history of Berlin in this building. Was historically the power plant that was making energy during the DDR time, so between the 30s and I guess until the 80s or something. I'm not sure when they dismantled it as a power plant, but I know when it started to become a club, it was 2004. So it was just like 5 years before I moved here. So when I first went there was 2008. My German friends brought me there, and my two girlfriends, um, and they introduced me to this place as it was, my baptism to the city. So they were like, "We will bring you there, and you will understand what it means, the soul of Berlin." Uh, so this place is for me very important. It's
Yeah.
like one of my favorite places in the world still now, and because it's not just a place where you go to listen to music. Obviously, that's what you do when you go to a techno club, and the music quality is really, really high. Like the best DJs go there to play. But it's also a place that stays open the whole weekend, so like from Saturday night until Monday morning,
Wow.
and you can basically stay there as long as you want, as long as the energy is in your legs. You can also eat in there, so that many
That's
people
good.
ask, "Well, how can you stay there for 1.5 days?" Well, you can eat something. There are
I don't know if I'd be
sandwiches.
able to last 1.5 hours these days.
Yeah, but because you can also chill, there are chill areas, and it's full of the world. Like say the
Mm.
people in there are there is a strict selection actually to get in, and many people think that this is unfair, but in the moment you get there, you understand why they have to do this because obviously now they became so famous, a lot of people want to go, so it means that a lot of people who are not into the clubbing scene at all want to get in. And because it's also a queer place, it was born as a gay club, and now it's not only a gay club, as I said, it's everything.
Mm.
But still, they have to respect this. So the a typical strangers who doesn't know anything about this might get there and start, to stare at the place or stare at the people in a funny way. So this would ruin the atmosphere, which is actually very like you feel at your own place. You feel
Open and safe. Yeah.
free and safe. Exactly.
Yeah.
Nobody is ever gonna punch your face thanks to that selection. And so it's not about being cool, like many people misunderstand. It's about protection of a place in order to keep it original. Otherwise, it becomes just like any other place, and it's not special anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Brilliant. Um, so we now because I love this deck so much that I can even remember where I was. I was in Scotland, in Edinburgh, when you messaged to say that the deck was coming towards the end because the original one was 500, wasn't it? And I got number 8
oh yeah,
originally.
you were one of the
Um,
first.
yeah, and then I loved it so much, and I think I'm the sort of person, if I love a deck, then I have to have a backup copy.
Yeah,
So I got the backup copy, but we're now going into a third edition. Do you want to talk about some of the, because you've been able to maintain the beauty throughout, and everything else without changing it too much, so that and I know people were chatting just before I came in saying, "I'm so glad this deck is coming back because they want to get their hands on it again." Do you want to talk about the subtle changes between the 3 editions?
yeah. Yes. In fact, that's another reason why I'm going to publish it again. At the beginning, I wouldn't expect the deck will be so much loved because who knows, how things go. You never know, and the possibilities also when you publish a deck on your own without any publisher, it's limited. So I thought at first to do 500 copies, and actually I thought it was the best idea also for the second edition and now also for the third. Also because you need a very big storage to store all the boxes. And for me, who have been moving from city to city in the years, it's been very difficult moving every time with all these boxes.
I bet.
So I keep it 500 copies per time, and I think it's also yeah. Then there is this possibility to change some features, and so the first copy that you have in your hands was the first. So I thought it was nice to make it with gold edges. So not only on the
Mhm.
box there is a gold foil, and the king of pentacles. I thought it was, as he's the king who is on a journey because he's sitting outside. I thought it would be very appropriate as a first deck, the card, because obviously it was not decided randomly. I thought, okay, I think the king is someone in power. I couldn't put I don't know, like a page on the cover. It must be someone sure of himself, and I thought that would bring me luck.
Mhm.
And it did. Like I'm very glad of what happened. Like with the deck, it was very loved deck. And the second one, I thought that I wanted people to remember that, like to recognize that the deck was the same. So I thought that the King of Cups was very similar in look, like the hat and the beard. I thought it was also, people would recognize the deck. It was the same deck but different, because obviously, if I said that it's gonna be only 500 copies, and then if I repropose the same deck exactly the same, that wouldn't be respectful. So I thought, no, it's 500 copies unique. The next 500 must be a bit different, otherwise it doesn't make sense, the numbered copies. So I thought, okay, let's do it with rose gold, um, copper color, also
Yeah.
the edge of the cards. I thought it was matching very well, also the skin color of the cards. And also the book was improved at this stage, because obviously the time has gone and I learned much more about tarot cards. My experience has developed. I read much more books, and so I thought that it was important to make a real book, not only a little guidebook with some hints. So the book of the second edition is much more complete, and even if it's a tiny book, I hope that it's readable for everybody. I tried not to print it too small,
Mm.
because it's very annoying also for me when the letters are too small and you need a length in order to read it. And now for the third edition, I decided to put finally a female figure, and I chose the Queen of Wands, because I think she is the example of how do you say, emancipated woman. Like she is in total power of herself. No, sorry, my English is bad. You know what I mean?
That's right.
She's in
Yeah.
power with herself. She's a proud woman, and um, I think among the four queens, she's the one who is more. She's the fire one, and I thought it was a good idea to put a queen this time on this deck. And so for the color, I chose this magenta red, which also matches the back. There is some red, so I thought it would
Mhm.
be beautiful to make it stand out with the red.
Oh, wow.
Uh,
Wow.
I don't know. What do you think? Did you guys like the magenta idea? Because I was really like, I didn't know whether to use purple, like the backs. There is a lot of purple, or the magenta. Then I thought the magenta is more appropriate.
Yeah. I mean, I love, my favorite color is purple. And one of the reasons why I love your deck so much as well is your combination of pinks and purples together in that's like they're like the two core colors, aren't they? Um, but the magenta, I suppose, would bring out the subtle parts of the red on the back without it being too purple, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, I thought the
But
same.
I mean, the first edition of Bonestone and Earthflesh had a magenta red metallic. Is it metallic red?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think of a purple one. Beautiful Creatures that had a metallic purple, and they're both beautiful. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Adam says both red and purple gilding. Yeah, purple is my favorite color, says Trisha, but I think pink pops better. Magenta is great, but don't really like gilding though. Love either. So people are pretty open to whichever one you want to go for. I don't know if that's helps you in any way. Purple would be great also, says Forever We're After. So yeah, I think the kind of the, the consensus is they'd be happy with either.
I'm glad. Who knows? Maybe there will be a fourth edition. We don't know, and maybe next time it will be purple.
Yeah. Adam says I'm a sucker for red gilding though. It gets me every time. So in terms of a bit of a status check then for people who are watching, where should they back the deck? It's Kickstarter this time, isn't it? And
Yeah, it's
what
on
what's the
Kickstarter.
campaign period?
Sorry?
What's the campaign timeline? When does it end?
Yeah, the campaign is it started about 9 days ago. It was Thursday. I think it was not this Thursday, the previous one. I
Yeah,
can tell you precisely. It's 19 days from now. Like it will finish in 19 days from now. So yeah, we are like one third, because one fourth, because it's 1 month of
yeah,
um, 1 month entirely. So now it's been 10 days and the campaign is going pretty well. I'm very happy. Like we reached already the 25%.
okay,
But it's also known that these campaigns, like the beginning is like going up very quickly because all the people who were expecting it backed all at once. And then it slows down, and it's slowed down already. But I'm very confident that it's gonna reach the goal. The only scary part of Kickstarter is that if it doesn't reach the goal, then it will never take off. So I'm really like, I know I can do it, but I
yeah.
know that I'm aware that it's possible that
I
fail.
guess that answers the question there as well, because it's an all or nothing
Yeah,
campaign. So if it has to pass the cross line
yeah,
for Kickstarter, and then you do tend to have extra copies. Is that right?
extra, sorry,
Um,
extra.
extra copies afterwards. Would some be
Copies.
available?
Well, I'm gonna make 500, so unless I don't think they're gonna be all sold in the campaign, so there will be
Yeah,
plenty. Yeah, 500 for this
brilliant.
edition again. Yeah, normally also for the other editions, I've sold about 150 just during the campaign.
Yeah,
So I'm aware that it's still a niche deck. It's a niche. Also, the deck in the tarot world in general is a niche art.
I'm going to pop the link. I mean, I will put the link into the description afterwards as well, but I'm going to pop it into chat now, just so. So let me just pop that. Let's see if we got it. Okay,
You mean
so
the link to the campaign?
yeah, New Choice Tarot de Marseille, third edition. Let's see if I can.
You can also type it on Kickstarter, and obviously it's the only
Yeah.
campaign with that name.
Okay, so let's pop that in there. Okay, so that's in the chat as well, and I'll add that to the description afterwards as well. So that's great. Third edition, still 19 days left to go. Good luck with that. I'm sure it will be fine. So you then, and I remember watching the whole process unfold after your New Choice Tarot de Marseille. you then had the idea for the new voice
Yeah.
tarot, which is this beauty here. And I was following this on your Facebook group,
Yeah.
and you would put a pencil sketch out, and then you'd put it next to a Rider-Waite Smith, to show kind of like the connection between the two, and then you would upload it coloured at a later date, and it was wonderful seeing the process. I
Yes.
mean, also I was like, oh, there's still so many cards to go, and I can't wait to get this.
I know, don't tell me. Each time I completed a card was, I had my Rider-Waite deck, and I would put each time I finished a card, I would put it back in the box. So it was like
Yeah,
I I was seeing this box, getting thinner and thinner. I couldn't wait until the end. And then you start to think about funny things. Also, I was thinking, what if I have an accident and I can't complete it? This is
yeah.
even if just one card is gonna miss, like it's all done for nothing.
I
You
know. I
think
mean,
about that during the process.
yeah, as a tarot lover and a fan of your work, for us, it's great seeing it, and then you just think, I really want this deck. But for you as a creator, like you say, the pressure, knowing that you've got to create 78 pieces of art, and also perhaps having that fear, like you've mentioned, in the back of your mind, what if it never gets completed?
Yeah,
It must be a huge responsibility, particularly because you've got a whole tarot community behind you, supporting
yeah.
you. And I could see the comments on the cards. Everybody was like, "This is fantastic," and can't wait for the deck. And I thought that must be lovely and supportive, but also quite a bit of pressure, I would have thought.
Yeah, like for me, it was never a pressure, I have to say. It was always a pleasure. And yeah, maybe the pressure was, uh, I confess that one day, once I finally finished the deck, I remember telling my best friend Kiran, he's also helped me with the design of the first, like he's the friend of mine who taught me how to use also Photoshop, and so I would tell him, "Hey, Kiran, promise me that if anything happen, you never know. Now that the tarot deck is complete, if I am not able to publish it for any reason, like I give you the files, you have full access to the folder um, on the yeah, on my computer." And I thought, so you're allowed to publish it, okay? And make a donation with the money that I was gonna. He was like, "Ross, you speak like you're gonna die soon." I said, "No, don't worry, I'm not supposed to, but you never know." So yeah, that's
Nothing's guaranteed, I suppose. So, I mean, the one thing I love about this deck as well, and again, it's very much in line with your first deck, because it's a very inclusive deck.
yeah.
Um,
I
perhaps,
tried my best.
yeah, perhaps much more so than the Marseille, because with a RWS system, you've got a lot more to play with, haven't you? In terms
Oh
of being
yeah,
able to, you've included, disability and things like that. So there's a lot more, um, I suppose, freedom when you've got 78 scenes to depict rather than the 22, because, like you said before, you was kind of locked in somewhat to the structure with the pip.
yeah,
So
exactly. Like I didn't want to get too much far from the structure, because the structure is also part of the symbolism. So I did do some cards. Like in the Tarot de Marseille, when the Tarot de Marseille was created, it was Renaissance. So uh, it would be funny to see, for example, different colors of skin on the cards. They were all blonde. Then studying it, we learned that it doesn't have to do so much with the ethnicity, but more with the symbology. So yellow, for example, the color yellow is intelligence. um, so it's not that they are blonde because they are all white people. But still, I wanted to make them a little bit more diverse because the world where we live is completely diverse. So I made some characters, also some different ethnicities. For example, the Hermit. I'm still speaking about the Tarot de Marseille, the new choice. And then when, as you said, when I decided to make the new voice, so a Rider Waite deck, I thought, okay, here, for example, I don't have to respect the direction where they are looking because it's not so important in the Rider Waite. So I thought it's more about the meaning behind the how do you say, it's not anymore structural. They
Yeah.
are looking right, they're looking left, but it's more about the scene. Yeah. And then I thought, because you know that also Pamela Coleman Smith, when she drew her deck, I learned this from I think from the book of Rachel Pollack. They were all portrayed also, like all the faces of the classic Rider
Yeah.
Waite are portrayed of Pamela's friends or people
Yeah.
who were around her. And that's something that artists also do, you know, when we make figures, as I said, either we do our self-portrait or we depict the people that are important for us. So I thought I'm gonna do the same, you know, I don't want to make them all like looking like models. I want them to be more realistic. And so I decided to portray my friends or either people who are like celebrities who are known from everybody. That maybe I was watching a TV series and I thought, oh, this actor is really inspiring me, and so I decided to put them in the tarot deck because I thought it was cool. It was characterizing the deck.
Wasn't this person a friend? I seem to
Oh
recall.
no, this one you can't see the face, so it's the only one that
Oh, is it? There's
the
one. There's one
only one
similar.
that I didn't portray anyone.
There's one very similar to that, I think, because you would, in your Facebook post, you would say the model for this particular
Yeah,
card is this person,
on
and
the
you'd
red.
also put a picture of them. But maybe it's one that's quite similar. But
Yeah, they are not all people. Yeah, this one also, I think I invented it. It's nobody exactly.
okay,
Like, it's just a face that I drew. So it's not each card a portrait of someone. Some of them,
this one,
depending on. Oh, this one actually was the very first one that I drew.
yeah,
So I maybe I took inspiration from an old friend of mine, but not really. You know, like it was just
that
let's
one
say,
really sticks in my mind. But it might be because it was the first card and it was the first glimpse of what your new deck was going to look like, and I was like,
yeah, we were already following
on
each
the
other,
money.
definitely. Yeah, this
Yeah,
one also is not nobody particularly, but you know, because when you, yeah, this is a friend of mine. This is a very dear friend of mine. His name is Mattia, a friend from Padova, the city where I was living before Berlin. I lived in Padova for 8 years almost, because I was working as a teacher in an art school there. And so I stayed in that city for long. And this other one was nobody particularly, but I took inspiration from drag queens. Because as you can see, and the dress, actually, the bodysuit that she's wearing, as well as the sleeves, is a creation from my ex-boyfriend from Venice. Like he's a very good, talented designer of drag queens costumes. Like he's been dressing people that also were participating to RuPaul's Drag Race. I'm not sure if you know it. It's a TV
yeah, yeah.
show. Yeah, it's the drag queens race. And so, yeah, this one, for example, is a guy from California, a singer, Mark and the Tiger. So it's not a brand. Somebody once asked me, why did you replace the lion with the tiger? Because the meaning of the lion is also connected to the Leo sign, star sign, to the card. And I thought, okay, yeah, that's true. But as I said, I wanted to be more free. And when I came across Mark and the Tiger, uh, listening to his music, I thought he would suit completely the card of uh, La Force. I mean, the card of strength. And yeah, that was another card that I portrayed someone. This one I got inspired by also a German friend of mine who's a sporty person, like into sports. And yeah, that's
There's
how a deck develops. And also,
there's a few real favorites of mine. I mean, the deck, I love every card in it, as you know, but there's, you know, sometimes you look at a card and it really gets you here. There's three in particular. One is
yeah,
because it's a personal connection for me with my kind of upbringing and everything. But the Five of Pentacles is always a powerful image, and the way you depicted
yeah,
the
I'm very happy about the result of this card. Maybe it's one of my favorite of the deck.
mm,
I mean,
mine
we have
too.
all been there. All
Yeah,
of us have been for once or more in a, yeah, sort of very sad situation, maybe not because of external factors. It's part of life. And the Five of Pentacles, the original card, was really giving me so much cold. And I
mm,
mean, maybe it's supposed to give you that feeling, to feel cold and to feel lonely and poor. It's a number five, so we know that it's an unbalanced number. So I thought, okay, it can be this cold as well, but something was missing in the original card. It was that hug.
yeah. The
Because that's
compassion
what
and
we
love is
that's what we need. In the
yeah,
worst part of our life, there must be a moment that somebody is gonna hug us,
yeah,
because that's a human needing of, exchange of energy. And that's a portrait of my friend Kiron, by the way, the one that I said he's always there for me.
yeah.
And I thought it would be nice to put him in this card.
Yeah, no, it just the compassion and the love just really comes through. I really think this is clever where the bedspread is the pullover, the
Yeah,
jumper. I
the
think that's
headache one.
yeah, I love that. And then your version of the Three of Swords is
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah, I guess these are the most like empathetic ones that you can always. I mean, everyone has the no day, and this one also. I mean, when the Three of Swords comes out, we all know that it's suffering.
Yeah,
So I thought it would be interesting to, to just go the closest possible to the face of someone who is being through a lot of trouble. And finally you release this moment of the crying is the moment when you finally release all this pain. It's also liberation,
yeah,
and it's a taboo for a long time. It's been a taboo, for example, for men to cry, to be seen crying, because it's toxic sexist society has taught us that men should never show their emotions. And I thought, no,
yeah. That's crap.
it's crap. I didn't want to say the swearing word, but
That's
yeah,
fine.
we
It
are all
really is.
humans. We are all little children trapped in a body. And the body ages, but we will be always that pure soul inside the body. And this pure soul, when it's touched, either positively or negatively, we need to release that energy. And it's beautiful when
Yeah,
we cry and we finally are in contact with our emotions, and we are not
absolutely.
afraid to show them, because it's part of the process also to
Yeah.
show emotions. So yeah, the Three of Swords is not that bad after all.
No, no, absolutely not. Um, what was your thought about, because you made the cards bigger, didn't you, than the Tarot de
Yeah,
Marseille? Was that to get more of the image across? What was your thought process
yeah,
behind having it
definitely. Like I
slightly?
thought, when I because unlike this deck, This one I drew it by hand on 8-4 sheets. So it was not super detailed, you know. I thought it would look totally fine in the classic tarot size. But for the new voice, I designed it on my iPad. So, you know that when you design something on iPad, you can make it bigger
Yeah.
and make the details much better. So when you shrink it, then you're like, whoa, like you you lose all those details. So it's already lost a lot from the, you know, from the iPad size to that Oracle card size. But at least it gives the drawings the opportunity to breathe more. You can see the eyes of the figure still. If I made it this size, as a lot of people asked me, like on private conversations, could you please make a smaller version because my hands are tiny, I can't riffle shuffle, blah blah blah. I thought, okay, maybe one day I will do it, but I'm not sure because it's gonna lose so much, so many details.
Yeah.
I'm afraid that the lines are too thin. It's gonna look really shrunken. So
Yeah.
maybe I will make a very small production. Maybe I will make, I don't know, 100 copies to see
Yeah.
to make happy these people, but not soon because I think I'm not sure that I'm gonna sell them as much as the other one. So it could be, you know, an hazard.
Yeah, and that was going to be a question I was going to ask you, whether there's any other projects like a third deck, or whether you was thinking of bringing out like a
Oh,
pocket deck, which they seem to be so popular at the moment, don't they? Mini decks, or decks in
a
a
third
tin, or
deck completely new? Yes, I am going to do it. It's just it's a lot of work, as you mentioned already. So,
yeah.
but I'm on it. I'm already working on a new deck.
And
So
is that a different tradition, or is it going to be
it's
RWS, or
different.
what's
This is
different
gonna
tradition?
be an oracle deck.
Oh, okay,
So
brilliant.
yeah, I'm studying a lot of oracle decks to understand how they work because they are all different. Actually, there is a total different. Yeah, it's more freedom, even more than the rider
Yeah.
weight. So it's gonna take a little while to make it because I want to make something that works. You know, I don't want
Mm.
to make something that then it doesn't work for some reason. So I need to follow a structure, but it's a structure that I'm creating completely by myself. I can tell you the style is going to be um, because you know how much I love neoclassical, like ancient Greek style.
Yeah.
So it's going to be my style of drawings, but neoclassic. So it's going to be like ancient Greek proper characters, and
Brilliant.
it's going to be very connected to philosophy in general, so to ancient
Okay.
philosophy. So it's going to be an oracle deck that tastes like, I don't know, like the Delphi oracle, you know?
I was trying to think of words that could rhyme, because you've got new voice, you got new choice, new voice, and I was like,
I don't know yet the name. I have to come.
new course?
I don't know if this game can go on. You know, if I find in a lamp of genius like something that matches for sure, but it doesn't have to be the aim. You know, the aim is to
No.
make something that works and it's a pleasure to use and to look at, and yeah, of course, people will recognize the style even if it's a different name.
Yeah. And are there still some of these available, or is
Oh
this
yeah.
sold out? There are.
Yeah, they are actually available as a reward on the new choice campaign too. So if you
Brilliant.
maybe already have the new choice Tower de Marseille, you don't want it again, but you want to still support the campaign to succeed, and you don't have this deck yet, people, you can get the new voice tarot as a perk, as a reward, and you will still help me to, to reach the goal with this one. There is also another perk. I will show you this. People who already visited maybe saw it. It's my, sorry, my very first comic, my very first and almost last, because I made a lot of little comics for my friends in the past, but I've never published a comic like this. Was my first comic novel that I made years
Until
ago
the
here in
day.
Berlin. It's called Until the Daylight, and it's I can show you a little bit while it's
Yeah.
yeah. It's about the nightlife in Berlin. So
Wow.
before I discovered the tarot world, so it's a story about two guys who meet one night. I don't want to spoil too much. um, who meet in Berlin. Oops. Yeah, it's black and white. It's I made it. This was before the iPads, so I made it traditionally on A3 sheets with the ink, with the fountain pen.
Yeah.
Then with Photoshop, I add the gray. But you can see here there is also some images of Berlin as it was many years ago when I arrived here. And you see, like, these are like the typical buildings of East Berlin with graffiti, gigantic graffiti from the artist Blue, and the cranes, because it's a city that keeps developing and being constructed and it changes
Yeah.
continuously. And yeah, it was. I could say that this was a sort of a self. How do you say when you speak about your life, but with a fantasy character?
Yeah.
Self. What's the word? Help me. Self-reference.
Self-reference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and this is also among the perks. So, if people don't want to get the tarot deck, also it's much more affordable than the decks. So, you can choose this as a perk, and it's something very unique because I produced only in two editions. The first edition was 100 copies. I was very broke back then, and I didn't have any Kickstarter. I didn't know about these platforms back then, so I entirely made it with my own money. I made it printed 100 copies, and then I sold them. And then I print, I think, 250. So it's 350 copies existing, and it's very sweet story. People who read it loved it very much,
No,
and
that's good.
yeah.
So are they when you say perks, can you get them straight away? You can choose them, or are they stretch goals?
Uh, Sorry,
So a
would you?
stretch goal would be if a deck achieves like 100%, you then it opens the option to buy the magazine, or if it gets 200% funded, then you can add on the deck. And or is it just something you can choose when you go in now?
I'm not sure what you mean. Like, you mean if I reach the goal of the campaign and
Yeah,
then it goes
so
on? Yes, it's like it can
like
go
stretch
on.
goals, they
Yeah,
call
it
it.
can
Yeah,
go on. And the perks so far, it's these perks. So it's the decks, the new choice, or the new voice in
yeah,
alternative, or this comic novel, or there are prints of the cards. It's going to be like the cards, but bigger, A5. So the size A5 is the size of the comic. So they're going to be like this
yeah,
with a little bit more edges, so you can put them in a frame. So it's a limited edition of high quality prints of the cards, because
yeah,
unfortunately I don't have the originals anymore. I still have some originals of some pips of this deck, but most of the most interesting ones are gone. So yeah, I'm going to print them high quality, and you can get them either one or two or four, I think, or you can get there are like several rewards that you can choose, and there are add-on rewards, so you can add more on your order,
yeah,
or you can choose as separate rewards. There are already for example, you can get two decks at once and you have a little discount, or
yeah,
you can get a deck and the prints and it costs a little bit less than the add-on. I don't know if I am explaining well.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. So, but
Okay.
for buying multiple copies, it
Yeah.
actually brings the price down, doesn't it?
Yeah, the more copies you buy, the 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 more you're gonna spare some money. And
Yes.
then instead of the add-ons, you just scroll all
You
the
choose. Yeah.
rewards, and there are many packets, let's say.
Yeah. Brilliant. Tricia said we need a Thoth
Oh,
Rosario. Have you ever
uh,
considered doing a Thoth deck?
I know about the Toth deck, and you know the truth, Trisha, is that the Toth deck gives me the creeps.
That's because it's not your version of the Thoth deck.
No, it's very interesting deck, but I don't know if it's the moment because it's a deck that when I see the drawing, they're beautiful. Don't take me wrong, but the style of that deck is so vibrating. I don't know. It's a very intense system, and I try to read them a couple of times, and I will be enchanted, but in a funny way. So I thought it's maybe I'll do it, but I don't. For now, I'm working on this Oracle deck. Who knows? Maybe after I
Yeah.
will think about
Yeah.
the thought.
Well, maybe Tricia planted the seed. The seed. I'm just going to just ask a few
Yeah,
general tarot related questions now
yeah,
before we wrap up. So now is the time. If there's anybody in the chat who wants to ask Ros a question, then
yeah,
do
yeah.
pop it
Also,
in.
it's been 1 hour, so I
Yeah.
lose the time control. So you lead me back in the tracks, please.
No, it's fine. So you talked about then about reading cards. Do you read for other people? Do you read other people's cards?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I started like when I started, I would read them just for myself as a self. Um, what's the word? Sorry, self investigation. Yeah, just for myself. But then, of course, people start to ask me to read for them, and I got really familiar with this, and I have done it like for many people. Also, I was collaborating with some bars where I would read them regularly back in Italy, and now I'm gonna do it also here in Berlin. So yeah, I do read the tarot cards for the people.
Yeah. So I guess the second part to that then, has creating your own decks changed the way you read
Oh yeah,
the people? I'd imagine so.
yeah, like because studying them and then making your own version. I mean, you make your own version because you want to see what's going on. It's like the metaphor would be like a painter who makes his own tools, his own pencils, and sorry, his own brushes. I felt like I had to do it because I could read it with my own imprint, and then and it makes difference. I mean, I have to say that I still read them. I still read also the classical decks. For
Yeah.
example, the Madeni one, I bought it to myself because it was my first deck, even if it's not the original one from my sister.
Yeah.
And actually, it speaks to me in a very different way than my own ones, of course.
Yeah. And if a mass market publisher approached you about publishing one of your decks, A, would you? And B, what would you not allow changes to happen? Because I know some publishers have said, we want to publish your deck, but we want to change this, this, and this. What
Yeah,
are the no-go areas that you wouldn't?
yeah. The B answered the first, the A. Like it happened to me at the very beginning. I tried to apply to some publishers for the new Choice, which was my first deck, and the ones who replied told me. I mean, I appreciated it being very honest. They told me um, we wouldn't publish it the way it is because we think that that wouldn't be appreciated by all the majority of our public. So they said we could do it, but we would ask you to make some changes. And this was for me like, like no, I'm not gonna change my art because you ask me for, like, I don't care about being published. Even if it
Enough.
was a
Mm.
very good publisher, then, also getting information from other authors. And I heard many stories. I heard also, for example, that not only the censor problem, but also the fact that you lose the copyright. Like, it's like selling your child to
Yeah,
someone,
it's
and then
gone.
you can't do anything. Like, these don't belong to you anymore. So I couldn't
Mm.
do the prints, I couldn't do t-shirts, nothing. Like, so I thought maybe I don't need it. That's why I choose always to go by myself. I mean, until now, you never know in the future. But I thought that selling my copyright for a bunch of thousands of euros, and then being obliged to change my work, it wouldn't resonate with me. It's not why I'm doing it. I'm not doing it to become
No.
popular. I'm doing it because I like to express myself. And so censoring them, it becomes no immediately.
Yeah.
Like,
I
that's
thought
why I always publish by myself for this reason. Like, the new voice, I didn't even ask but probably I would have got so much censor, because there is a lot of nudity, and it seems like it's an issue for some people. But I mean, looking at the classic Rider Waite, there is
exactly.
nudity as well. The devil card, they're naked, the star card. And so I don't understand why in my drawings is a problem, and in the in the old
You
ones
know,
it's not.
and it's the way we're going. I had a video taken down by YouTube a few days ago for
Mm,
showing a deck that was published 1974.
yeah, crazy, huh?
And they just said we've taken it. I appealed it and I won, but if I hadn't have appealed it, they would have taken it down,
Oh
saying
yeah.
that it was inappropriate content. So I kind of thought that would be your response, really, because I would imagine that certain publishers would want to change it beyond what your concept was all about. So um and I've seen there's a question: what's Rosario's most recent deck you purchased, and do you have a large deck collection?
He's speaking to you.
Yeah, is asking what your most recent deck.
Me.
Yes,
The
what did
most
you last
recent.
purchase?
It's the one that is also your favorite. I backed it on Kickstarter because when I saw it, I thought this is a masterpiece, and I,
uh,
I take the opportunity to say hello to Valentina. I don't know if she's online. I'm not sure.
I'm
Valentina
not
De
sure.
Luca. So
She's
yeah, this
wonderful.
is. I'm not a big collector of tarot cards. Like, I buy them only when I really feel like they resonate to me, or when I feel that they deserve to be backed. In this
Mm,
case, um, I saw this artwork and I thought it's
it's
genuinely
beautiful.
gorgeous. And yeah, so this is my latest. Yeah.
Lovely. um
And
I,
I also spoke to Valentina, and she's a lovely person.
she is.
Yeah, we chatted quite a long, like, in
Yeah,
audio
same.
messages, and so,
Yeah.
and yeah, and in exchange, she also backed my my crowdfunding right now. So I hope I will have the chance to see her personally one day. Now, unfortunately, I just left Italy, but it was easier 3 months ago when I was still in Italy. But I came across this deck right
Mm.
after.
Lovely, it's a beautiful deck. And Rachel, I think Ros did answer the question. So mainly, it's the change to the box cover, with having a queen on the front this time and magenta
Yeah.
edging on the card. And talking of lovely people,
Sorry, I forgot one feature. The box is going to be the same but holographic, like the
okay,
new voice. So,
like
except
this
for
one,
this image, of course, this image will be not holographic,
yeah,
otherwise it will lose the visibility. But all the rest of the box and the inside is gonna be shiny holographic. So I thought it would be a good idea, and it would match also with the new voice. So as you can see, the
yeah,
difference. Yeah. So it's gonna shine a little bit like this.
wonderful. That'd be great. Yeah, and Andrea Asti is here. It's lovely to see you. And he was agreeing about the
Oh,
worst.
Andrea, hi. Yes, I know Andrea personally.
Yeah, he's
So
great.
the worst is when they ask to censor your art. Yeah, we spoke
Yeah.
about it, I think, once, Andrea. We met with Andrea. We had the pleasure to meet in London once, and it was very nice. Sorry, I didn't read the
It
entire
takes it
book.
off after a few seconds automatically. I'm not
My
quite
devil
sure.
is what it may happen, but I refuse and went solo.
Self-publishing.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's very
Yeah.
annoying, and as artists, I don't know, maybe there are people who get in compromise and don't care so much, but personally, no. I didn't do it for that reason. I do it because this is the way that I want to do it, and so I'm gonna do it by myself.
Um, okay, so I always finish with two questions that I ask all my guests, and then if you're okay, we'll just do the quick fire round at the end of what I call paper plastic.
So,
So the first final question is you're hosting a dinner party. At the dinner party, you can have three guests. One is a guest of honor, so your most ultimate guest that you want there, and two other guests. They can be dead or alive.
mm,
Which three people would you invite to your dinner
oh,
party?
interesting. I have to think about a bit. So one is the most important one.
Yeah, your guest of honor, the
My
one that
guest of honor.
sits at the head of the table, if you like.
From the past even. I have to make a choice. Uh, I guess sorry, the first person that comes to my mind is an icon. Okay.
Madonna.
Madonna, yeah.
Is that who it was?
You read my mind.
No, she's my guest of honor too.
I mean, who she's not the guest of honor? Yeah,
Yeah,
Madonna. Yeah, I know it sounds a bit cliche, but
not
come
at
on.
all. Not at all. I'm there with
I
you.
think it would be yeah, it would be an honor and a pleasure and incredible. So we can just fantasize about. I mean, the Queen of Wands. Probably you noticed something familiar in that cover. That's why I also chose her because the count.
Yeah, the
Uh,
conical bra. Yeah,
exactly. It was obviously a how do you say a dedication to
yeah,
her being unapologetic and being like a woman who says, "Fuck it, I'm gonna
yeah,
do it. I don't
yeah,
care if you don't
exactly.
want me to do it because I'm
Always
a woman."
pushing buttons. Yeah,
Yeah, she it was and is a really important light in my life. The way that she has been during her career, not only the music, but I mean as a character. Yeah,
yeah, brilliant. She's just done a 2-hour interview. She hasn't done an interview for 9 years. I don't know if you've
yeah.
seen it. It's about her spiritual beliefs, but it's 2 hours long. It's
It's a bit
brilliant.
too long, isn't it? I tried to watch it and I
Did
fell
you?
asleep.
I watched it in two halves, an hour each day. Yeah. So, can you think of two more, or not? It
Uh,
doesn't matter if not. But
maybe, yeah. I'm thinking also because some are not internationally known. Maybe the other one will be this Italian singer Ornella Vanoni. I don't know if you know her.
no.
She's still alive as well. She's quite old now. She's hilarious. She's well, listen to her music because it's very lovely from the 60s on.
Okay.
She is so ironic. I would love to have a dinner with her and Madonna. And I guess the other one would be, yeah, another woman. It will be Amanda Lear. Was also she's not Italian, but she's very known in Italy. She's also an icon and a singer,
Yeah.
and she's super ironic. And she was one of the for a period she was the girlfriend of David Bowie
Oh.
and also Salvador Dali. She was a muse of Salvador Dali when she was very, very young, and
Oh,
he was an
brilliant.
old man.
That
So
sounds
very,
like a great dinner party.
yeah, with these three women, it would be great. Yes.
Yeah. And then the last question before we do the paper plastic game. Um, What has tarot taught you most about yourself?
Where do I start from? I think tarot is a journey, and it's like learning to play violin, you know? You never finish to learn. And this little book without, how do you say, it's a book without the
Yeah,
side part,
absolutely.
contains all the possibilities of all stories, of being human and being alive. So I guess, it taught me how to go on in my life and to not stop when there are moments that you think they are too difficult to bear. You know that after that card, there will be a better card.
Yeah.
Because you know that they are all like an even one and
Yeah,
an active
absolutely.
one and passive one. So it's always about yeah, this is what it taught me. Even in the most difficult moment, go on. It's part of the path, and you're gonna love everything, every stadium of this life, and just don't give up and live it through until the very end, until you have the last
Last
breath.
breath.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well said. Brilliant. Thank you. Okay. Have you seen paper plastic being played? Do you get the concept?
Paper, plastic.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So it's just a quick game, just a bit of fun to finish with. So I'll say two things, and you just say the first thing that comes into your head, which is
Okay.
your preferred, what you prefer.
Okay.
So we'll start off with thinking of cards, tarot cards, paper or plastic.
Okay. It's like dew or so paper or plastic? Paper.
Paper, oracle or tarot.
For now, tarot. But Oracle, I told you I'm studying about.
Yeah, I think I know the answer to this one, but matte or gloss.
Math, definitely math.
YouTube or Instagram.
Hmm. It's very different. I use more Instagram. Yeah.
Big parties or small gatherings.
Uh, Big parties.
Yeah. Tea or coffee.
Tea.
Wait or Crowley.
Um, Wait.
Bordered or borderless.
Borderless.
Dark and creepy or rainbows and unicorns.
Can I can I say a mix of it?
Yeah.
I need both, like light and dark. I told you.
Yeah. Money or free time.
Money or free time?
Yeah.
Oh,
Which
free
do you
time,
free
definitely.
time? Movies at home or in the cinema.
Cinema is charming. I should go more often to cinema, but it costs more.
Yeah. Life after death or total oblivion.
Oh, is this a question of what I believe in or what I
Yeah.
wish? Because it's different answer.
Oh, so you wish for life after death, but you
Of
think
course, but I'm not
probably total
sure. I
oblivion.
don't know. I'm very agnostic. I
Yeah.
don't know. That's why I remark live it now all through because after, who knows?
Don't know. Yeah. Are you an early bird or a night owl?
Night owl.
Um, Pure art or computer generation?
Oh, pure art, please.
Woodland forest or sandy beaches?
How is the forest again?
Woodland
Woodland.
forest or
Yeah,
sandy beaches?
the first one, the forest.
And then the last one, the most important one, toilet roll hanging over or under?
I wait. Rolling over is the one distant from the wall.
Yeah, so like a goatee rather than a mullet.
Yeah, that one. I don't want it to touch the wall.
Uh,
It's disturbing me.
so over. Rosario, this was fun. Thank you so much for joining me. We've been an hour and a half, but it's flown by. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, for me too. It was very pleasant. Let's do it again.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to do something again in the
And thank
future.
thank you. I didn't say it yet. Thank you so much for having me in your channel, and it was a pleasure really to
No,
talk to
thank
you.
thank you for coming on. And yeah, anything else you've got coming up? Anything that you want to let people know about before we go?
I guess we said everything we had to so far. So yeah,
Okay,
like after this campaign, hopefully it will go in port, and then I will be able more to work on my new project. And I hope I will have soon news for you and stuff to show you.
great.
Also,
Uh,
because now I made this choice to leave the teaching job after 10 years. I didn't say this in my, like, I moved back to Berlin because I sacrificed my life in Italy
right,
as a teacher. The plan is to teach here, but it requires some more studying.
yeah,
So for now, I am living from my art and this project. And also, the question is just that told me, like money or free time. But
yeah.
now I chose free time because, yeah, because you can do much more also art.
And is it art that you teach when you teach? Are you teaching
Yeah,
art?
I'm a teacher of sculptures,
Yeah,
so ceramic and many materials. It's a job that I love. I have loved it so far, but it would tie me up in this town in Italy, while my love, it's here in Berlin. So I had to leave it. I had to make this big choice, and I'm glad that I made it. I'm very happy here.
well, lovely. And people can follow you on Instagram for any updates. You're very active on Instagram, aren't you? So
Yeah, it's more on Instagram that I'm active, but I'm also on TikTok. It's the same spelling as in the same nickname on TikTok. I've seen maybe it's less popular yet. I don't know. There are not so many people on TikTok yet,
yeah,
but I'm trying to develop also that, and it's a little bit more difficult to. It's a bit different, so it doesn't allow me to put links yet. So that's why maybe I'm not using it that much because
okay.
it's difficult to be seen. But yeah, if you want, you can follow me there, guys. It would be nice also.
Smashing. Brilliant. Well, thank you again. It's been a real pleasure to have you on. And
Thank
thank you
you.
to everybody who's been and joined us and asked questions. And it's been great to see you all here as well. And until next time, go in
Yeah,
peace.
I was taking the opportunity to say thank you to everyone who joined this, and I will check if I can then all the guests that were online, and I'm
Yeah,
happy to see also some familiar names, and I hope to talk to you guys very soon.
lovely. Thanks then, everyone. See you all soon.
Have a beautiful
Bye.
weekend.